The bustling streets of New York echo with the sound of car horns and hurried footsteps. Sarah Collins walks slowly amidst the chaos, her simple cotton dress and worn-out sneakers making her stand out in a sea of designer outfits. The glittering lights from luxury boutiques reflect off her calm, gentle eyes. She stops at a street food cart, reaching into her old, frayed purse to pull out a few crumpled bills to buy a bottle of water. Nearby, a group of well-dressed young adults laughs loudly. A girl with wavy blonde hair, clutching a designer handbag, raises an eyebrow as she looks Sarah up and down. She smirks and says, "Seriously? Looks like she just walked out of a thrift store." Laughter erupts around them. Sarah bows her head slightly, gripping the bottle tightly. She doesn't respond, just continues walking. But behind those calm eyes a spark flickers, a fire that is yet to be revealed. Sarah sits down on a weathered bench, her shoulders slightly hunched. She takes a deep breath, unscrews the cap of her water bottle, and takes a slow sip. The noise of the bustling square fades as she pulls out her old smartphone, its screen slightly cracked. As she scrolls through her notifications, the audience catches a glimpse of multiple emails from top investment firms and major corporations. Subject lines like meeting confirmation, Collins Investments, and project proposal, Greenleaf Fund flash across the screen. But Sarah's expression remains calm, almost indifferent. A few steps away, a woman named Chloe stands confidently. Dressed in a fitted blazer and heels, Chloe exudes an air of sophistication. In her manicured hands, she holds a stack of glossy flyers, inviting passers-by to a charity gala happening just across the square. Join us for an exclusive evening of giving back. Chloe's voice is honey-sweet as she hands out flyers to people in suits and designer dresses. Sarah watches as Chloe walks toward her. But as soon as Chloe's eyes land on Sarah's simple attire, her smile fades. She clutches the flyers closer to her chest and moves right past Sarah, choosing instead to approach a well-dressed couple nearby. Sarah lowers her gaze, placing her phone back into her bag. The rejection stings, not because she wanted the flyer, but because once again, she's been judged by her appearance. Sarah takes a deep breath, straightens her posture, and approaches the entrance of the charity event. Glittering lights and elegant guests in designer gowns fill the area, creating a stark contrast to her simple, worn cotton dress. She steps toward Chloe, who's now surrounded by a group of attendees, effortlessly charming them with her polished smile. Sarah clears her throat and speaks softly, her voice steady but hesitant. "Excuse me, can I join this event?" Chloe's smile tightens as she turns to face Sarah. Her eyes scan Sarah from head to toe, from the scuffed sneakers to the faded dress. Chloe raises an eyebrow, her lips curling into a condescending smirk. "This event is by invitation only," Chloe says, her tone dripping with sarcasm. "And well, it's a high-profile charity gala." She pauses, letting the words hang in the air as her gaze drifts toward a group of homeless people sitting across the street. "Maybe you'd be more comfortable over there." Laughter erupts from the small crowd surrounding Chloe. A man in a tailored suit nudges his friend and mutters, "Guess she thought this was a soup kitchen." Sarah's cheeks flush red, her jaw clenched. The sting of humiliation burns deeper than the chilly evening breeze. Her eyes flick to the ground, then back up, meeting Chloe's smug stare. But she doesn't respond. She simply swallows her pride, forcing a tight-lipped smile. With one last glance at the event that was supposed to be about charity, Sarah turns away, the sound of laughter echoing behind her. Sarah quickens her pace, but the echoes of laughter trail behind her like a haunting shadow. Every step feels heavier as she walks past the crowd, their whispers slicing through her like shards of glass. A group of wealthy patrons sits at a nearby outdoor cafe, lounging comfortably with glasses of champagne. They lean toward each other, eyes fixated on Sarah as she passes. Did she just get lost on her way to the thrift store? A woman in a silk dress snickers, tilting her head towards Sarah. A man in a designer suit chuckles, swirling his drink. Or maybe she's auditioning for a charity case. That dress screams, "I need help." Sarah's cheeks burn as she keeps her gaze fixed on the pavement. The sound of clinking glasses and mocking laughter blurs into a cruel symphony. A couple passing by slows down, eyes scanning Sarah's plain outfit. The woman whispers to her partner, loud enough for Sarah to hear, "She must be lost. No way she belongs here." Sarah swallows hard, her hands clenched into fists. The city lights above her glitter like jewels, a harsh reminder of how out of place she appears in this world of luxury and pretentiousness. Her shoulders slump as she moves faster, the sting of their words echoing in her mind. It's not just the humiliation that hurts, it's the realization that, despite everything she owns, she's still invisible to them. Sarah takes a deep breath, her eyes glistening with a quiet resolve. She pulls out her phone and dials a number. "Yes, it's me," she says calmly. "Can you send the car over? I'm at the plaza." She ends the call, slipping the phone back into her simple cotton bag. The surrounding crowd continues to snicker, their whispers growing louder. Who's she calling? The thrift store hotline. One of the cafe patrons jeers, earning a few chuckles. A few moments later, the sound of an engine hums through the plaza. Heads turn as a gleaming black limousine rolls up to the curb, its polished exterior reflecting the city lights like liquid silver. The driver steps out, impeccably dressed in a tailored suit, and strides over to the back door. He opens it smoothly, bowing slightly. "Ma'am, your car is ready," he announces, his tone respectful. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Chloe's jaw drops, her eyes wide as she watches Sarah walk toward the limousine. Sarah moves gracefully, her expression serene as she steps into the back seat without a word. Before the door closes, she locks eyes with Chloe, offering a slight, knowing smile. The limousine pulls away, leaving a stunned silence in its wake. The people who had mocked Sarah now stand frozen, their smug expressions replaced with disbelief and embarrassment. The limousine glides smoothly to a halt in front of a towering glass building. The evening lights cast a golden glow over its sleek facade. Sarah steps out, her posture composed and confident. She now wears a simple yet elegant dress, soft, understated, yet undeniably refined. With her head held high, she walks through the grand entrance, her heels clicking softly against the marble floor. Inside, the rooftop is abuzz with chatter. Crystal chandeliers hang above beautifully arranged tables, and guests mingle in glamorous evening attire. The event? A high-profile charity auction for a local children's foundation. Chloe, now dressed in a sparkling gown, laughs with a group of wealthy guests. She doesn't notice Sarah approaching, her attention fixed on charming potential donors. Sarah calmly scans the room. Her eyes land on Chloe, but she says nothing. Instead, she moves gracefully toward the main stage, where the auctioneer is preparing to announce the next item. The crowd parts slightly, allowing Sarah to step forward. Whispers ripple through the room. Some recognize her, others don't. Chloe glances up, her smile fading as she sees Sarah, but she still doesn't make the connection. Chloe strides over to Sarah, her heels clicking sharply against the polished marble floor. She crosses her arms, her expression a perfect blend of superiority and condescension. "Are you lost? This is a private event," Chloe sneers, her gaze sweeping over Sarah's simple dress as if it were an eyesore. Sarah remains calm, her eyes meeting Chloe's without a hint of anger. Slowly, she reaches into her clutch and pulls out a sleek, black VIP card. The gold lettering catches the light as Sarah holds it up for Chloe to see. The words are clear and unmistakable. Sarah Collins, President, Collins Foundation. Chloe's jaw drops. The color drains from her face as she takes a step back, her eyes darting between the card and Sarah's composed expression. All around them, murmurs ripple through the crowd. Guests exchange shocked glances, whispering in disbelief. "Wait, that's the Sarah Collins? The one who donated $1 million last year," one man says, nudging his friend. "The Collins Foundation practically funds this entire event," a woman adds, her eyes wide with astonishment. Chloe's confidence crumbles, her smirk fading into a look of sheer humiliation. She swallows, attempting to regain her composure, but it's too late. The room is now buzzing with the realization that the woman they had dismissed and mocked is, in fact, the most influential person in the room. Sarah remains poised, her expression soft but unyielding. Without another word, she tucks the card back into her clutch and steps away, leaving Chloe frozen in place, her cheeks burning with embarrassment. The MC strides onto the stage, his voice echoing through the grand hall. "Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to introduce our largest donor of the evening, the woman whose generosity has made tonight possible, Ms. Sarah Collins, President of the Collins Foundation." The spotlight shifts, casting a warm glow over Sarah as she rises from her seat. The room erupts in applause. Heads turn. Eyes widen. All attention is now on the woman in the simple, yet elegant dress. Chloe's face pales. She forces a tight, uneasy smile, but her hands are visibly shaking. The whispers around her are like tiny daggers. Wait, she's the one we laughed at. And Chloe, didn't she just insult her? Sarah steps onto the stage, her presence commanding yet calm. She takes the microphone, her gaze sweeping across the crowd before settling on Chloe, who is now avoiding eye contact. Thank you, everyone, Sarah begins, her voice steady yet gentle. Tonight, I was reminded of how quick we are to judge people by what they wear, by how they look. But true wealth isn't measured by the clothes you wear or the car you drive. It's what you do with what you have. The room falls silent. Chloe swallows hard, her cheeks burning under the gazes of the crowd. Sarah continues, her tone unwavering. Some people use their wealth to elevate themselves. Others use it to lift others up. Let's remember, the most valuable thing we can wear is our character. The applause is thunderous. Sarah steps down, meeting Chloe's eyes one last time, a gaze that is both forgiving and firm. Chloe quickly looks away, her forced smile crumbling as Sarah walks past her, head held high. The crowd begins to disperse, still buzzing about Sarah's powerful words. Chloe pushes her way through the guests, her heart pounding. Her heels click against the marble floor as she rushes towards Sarah, who is calmly walking toward the exit. Sarah! Chloe calls out, her voice slightly trembling. Sarah stops but doesn't turn around. Chloe finally reaches her, out of breath. I didn't realize who you were, Chloe stammers, her eyes darting nervously. I'm so sorry. If I had known. Sarah slowly turns to face her. Her expression is calm, almost serene, but her eyes are icy and unyielding. If you had known. Sarah repeats, her voice steady but cold. So if I were just another simple woman on the street, you would still treat me like nothing? Chloe's face crumbles. I didn't mean. Sarah steps closer, her gaze piercing through Chloe. You didn't mean to judge me? Or you didn't mean to get caught? Chloe opens her mouth to speak, but no words come out. The weight of her actions hangs heavy in the air. Sarah takes a deep breath, her expression softening just slightly. Next time, Chloe, remember this. Respect isn't something you give to someone because of their status. It's what you give to everyone, no matter who they are. Without another word, Sarah turns and walks away, her heels echoing against the marble floor. Chloe stands frozen, her eyes glistening with tears, the realization of her own pettiness crashing down on her like a tidal wave. Sarah's powerful speech is now all over social media. Clips of her standing confidently on stage, delivering her message about respect and dignity, go viral. The video racks up millions of views within hours. Comments flood in. This woman is a true queen. Money can't buy class, but it sure can reveal those who lack it. I can't believe how people treated her just because of her clothes. Disgusting. Karma hit them like a truck. Kudos to Sarah for handling it with such grace. Meanwhile, the video also captures the faces of those who had mocked Sarah earlier at the plaza. Their laughter and sneers are now seen in a different light, and viewers are quick to call them out. Among them, Chloe's face is clearly visible. At the office of the event organizers, a stern conversation is taking place. Chloe, we can't have someone like you representing our brand, the director says firmly. Your behavior was unacceptable, and it's already damaged our reputation. Chloe's face falls. Please, give me another chance. I didn't know who she was. The director shakes his head. That's the problem, Chloe. You shouldn't have to know who someone is to treat them with respect. As Chloe walks out of the office, the weight of her actions presses down on her like a heavy cloak. Her phone vibrates with notifications, messages from friends, people she thought were allies, now calling her out for her behavior. Chloe swallows hard, feeling the sting of her own downfall. A month later, a new community center stands proudly in the heart of the city. The sign above the entrance reads, "The Collins Center, empowering women to rise above judgment." Inside, the atmosphere is warm and welcoming. Women from various backgrounds, some in business suits, others in casual clothes, gather to celebrate the grand opening. Sarah steps up to the microphone. She's still wearing her simple cotton dress, but now it exudes a quiet, undeniable power. Her eyes scan the crowd, recognizing some faces, the the same people who had laughed at her in the plaza. They now look at her with respect and admiration. Today, we open the doors to a place where no one will be judged by their clothes, their looks, or their bank account, Sarah begins, her voice calm yet firm. Because true value isn't worn, it's lived. It's how we treat each other. It's how we lift each other up when the world tries to tear us down. The audience applauds, some wiping away tears. Sarah continues, I was humiliated because I didn't look wealthy enough. But that experience taught me that the real wealth we carry isn't in our wallets, it's in our hearts and actions. And today, I want to share that wealth with all of you. A young woman in the audience raises her hand, her voice trembling. I was turned away from a job interview because they said I didn't look the part. Thank you, Sarah, for reminding us that we're more than appearances. Sarah steps down from the stage and embraces the young woman, her eyes softening. The camera zooms in on the sign above, empowering women to rise above judgment, as the crowd claps and cheers. Inside her office, Sarah sits by the window, a soft, warm light illuminating her face. The bustling city below hums with life, but inside, there is a calmness, a sense of fulfillment. On her desk lies a stack of letters, handwritten notes from women thanking her for the impact she's made through the Collins Center. Sarah picks up one letter and unfolds it. It reads, Dear Sarah, I was once ashamed to walk into a room because I couldn't afford fancy clothes. But after hearing your story, I realized that my worth isn't in the fabric I wear, but in the kindness I give. Thank you for reminding me of that. Sarah's eyes well up, and she clutches the letter close to her heart. The camera zooms in on her serene, content expression. Money may change people's perception of you, but it should never change how you perceive yourself. Sarah places the letter back on the desk and gazes out the window. The city lights twinkle against the evening sky, each one a reminder of lives touched and spirits uplifted. True wealth isn't measured by what you wear. It's measured by what you give.